Will the meeting come to order? Rise for the pledge. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the Village Board meeting of April 28th, 2025. Roll call, please.
Stacy,
Here.
Terry, Kraus,
Here.
Gardner,
Here.
Beecher,
Here.
Weisbach.
Here.
In your packet, you have minutes for the last meeting of April 14th. Does anyone have any changes? If not, can we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second? There's a motion and a second. Roll call.
Stacy,
Yes.
Kraus,
Yes.
Gardner,
Abstain.
Beecher,
Yes.
Weisbach.
Yes.
Does anyone in the audience wish to address the board? All right, we have no village clerk's report tonight. Under my report, I have a lot of reading to do. So first, we are recognizing Patty Meyer, who's going to be retiring from the village with over 20 years of service. So we want to congratulate her in her retirement. However, we have a proclamation. No. In recognition of Patty Meyer for 20 plus years of dedicated service to the village of Beecher. Whereas Patty Meyer has provided over 20 years of service to the village of Beecher, and whereas Patty Meyer has held many titles at the village of Beecher, such as rent-a-clerk, part-time secretary, administrative assistant, front desk clerk, building department coordinator, deputy clerk, planning and zoning commission secretary, 4th of July commissioner, risk management secretary, park rental coordinator, and chaos coordinator, and is experienced in too many other duties to mention. Whereas Patty Meyer has answered the questions and concerns of Beecher and Washington Township residents, various other customers, as well as residents of Beecher City, Illinois, Beecher, Wisconsin, and Beecher, Michigan. She has also addressed many common, uncommon, and sometimes bizarre questions while working at both Village Hall locations at 625 Dixie Highway and 724 Penfield Street. Whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the many years of service and dedication of Patty Meyer for the village of Beecher, as well as for Beecher 4th of July Commission. Now therefore, I, Marcy Meyer, village president of the village of Beecher, Will County, Illinois, do recognize Patty Meyer and wish her well upon her retirement, and further extend appreciation for the vital services she has performed and dedication to the village of Beecher.
Thank you, Mayor.
We're not gonna get this renta thing?
Rent it from?
Yeah, I'd like, story behind that, like, leave that
You
hanging.
haven't heard of that? Okay, Miss, the other Mrs. Meyer, would you come?
All right, Mrs. Meyer.
That's why we're moving.
Okay.
You're moving?
Yeah.
Okay, here.
Chief.
Oh, sorry.
Right, boom. Okay. Congratulations,
Thank you,
Mrs.
ma'am.
Meyer.
Thank you.
Oh, smiles.
Can I get one over here?
I know. Oop. All right. So,
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Yes.
Some days.
Most of the time.
Met a lot of great people throughout the years and blessed for those relationships and looking forward to the next chapter. Oh,
All right.
Some retirement.
I have another proclamation to read for Professional Municipal Clerks Week, the week of May 4th through 10th, 2025. Whereas the office of the municipal clerk, a time-honored and vital part of local government, exists throughout the world, and whereas the municipal clerk is the oldest among public servants, and whereas the office of the municipal clerk provides the professional link between the citizens, the local governing bodies, and agencies of government at other levels, And whereas municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all. Whereas the municipal clerk serves as the information center on functions of local government and community. Whereas municipal clerks continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the office of municipal clerk through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meetings of their state, provincial, county, and international professional organizations. Whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of the office of the municipal clerk. Now therefore, I, Marcy Meyer, Village President of the Village of Beecher, Will County, Illinois, do hereby proclaim the week of May 4th through May 10th, 2025 as Professional Municipal Clerks Week, and to further extend our appreciation to our municipal clerk, Jeanette McCauley, and to all municipal clerks for the vital services they perform and their exemplary dedication to the communities they represent. Congratulations. I need a sip of water for the next one. Alrighty, and last but not least, we have a proclamation for National Police Week, May 11th through 17th. Recognizing National Police Week 2025 and to honor the service and sacrifice of those law enforcement officers killed in the line of duty while protecting our communities. Whereas there are more than 800,000 law enforcement officers serving in communities across the United States, including the dedicated members of the Beecher Police Department. And whereas since the first recorded death in 1786, more than 24,000 law enforcement officers in the United States have made the ultimate sacrifice and been killed in the line of duty. And whereas the names of these dedicated public servants are engraved on the walls of the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial in Washington, D.C., and whereas the service and sacrifice of all officers killed in the line of duty will be honored during National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Fund's 37th Annual Candlelight Vigil on the evening of May 13th, 2025. And whereas the Candlelight Vigil is part of National Police Week, which takes place this year, May 11th through 17th. And whereas May 15th is designated as Peace Officers Memorial Day in honor of all fallen officers and their families, and U.S. flags should be flown at half-staff. Now therefore, I, Marcy Meyer, Village President of the Clerk of Beecher, Will County, Illinois, do hereby proclaim May 11th through 17th, 2025 as National Police Week in the Village of Beecher, and thank the law enforcement officers in our community and in communities across the nation for their service. Okay, I think that's all for my report. All right, committee reports. Finance and Administration Committee, Trustee Kraus.
Thank you. Consider motion approving the list of bills and payroll in the amount of $443,854.41.
There is a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Discussion? Roll call?
Weisbach,
Yes.
Beechinko,
Yes.
Gardner,
Yes.
Kraus,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Stacy.
Yes.
So I'd like to make a motion to open the public hearing for the proposed budget for fiscal year 25-26.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Roll call?
Stacy,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Kraus,
Yes.
Gardner,
Yes.
Beechinko,
Yes.
Weisbach.
Yes.
Should we call for public hearing, or is it just
Pardon?
out there? Said you have to just close, you know, if any comments?
Yeah. Yeah. Don't we usually go through this a little first, or?
I mean, I can give a rendition if you want.
Do I? No, you can't.
Well, I know you looked like you were gonna say something, so I wasn't sure. So I did a couple of highlights, because we had the workshop here April 2nd, where we went through the budget line by line for that. Made a few revisions, and what you see in front of you now is what I'm presenting for to be approved part of the budget.
I know you sent out a list of changes that you made since the workshop,
Yes.
very detailed and line item oriented.
Want me to go through those? They were pretty minor, but There was a lot of them, but it was just more
Yeah, I
adjusting.
don't think we need to, it's mostly just adjusting revenues and expenses.
Yeah.
Was there any major things on there? I don't recall.
No, there were no big
No big changes, it was
items
just
on here, no.
moving stuff sometimes between lines or between departments just to make them match up with where they
Right.
belong.
And
a little better.
balancing it, yep.
Yeah.
And everybody got a copy of that?
Yeah.
Just making sure, I mean the changes.
Oh.
I don't think I did the other day, probably.
Yeah, see, yeah, or if there's just any,
Everything, I guess because I put it in the budget.
it was in here, okay.
Yeah, but yeah,
Okay.
so everything is in there. But as far as the revenue, really only huge notable thing is the casino with Wind Creek Casino opening up. I think we mentioned it before, but that was one of the things that I adjusted because I only had it, it was like $120,000, but we're getting somewhere around 9,000 plus every month in addition to what we were getting before, so I upped that revenue. There's no change in the tax levy because the board voted for the 0% tax levy back in December. PPO insurance increased 8.5%, HMO by 6.2%. Salaries, at least for the officers, that's covered by the contract. We're still in negotiations with Public Works and Clerical Union, so adjustments to that will be made, need to be made once those are finalized. IMRF pension contribution went up just a little bit from 3.31 to 3.44. We did budget in for, because we still have that $500,000 grant that needs to be spent by September of 26, sorry. September of 26, so we're planning on starting that hopefully in, that would be, what did we say? I'm making my numbers wrong.
No, you're right. It'd be, so it'd go to bid in January, February of '26 and do the project in the summer of '26
In
while
the summer,
school's
yeah,
out.
Yep, yeah. And that's kind of the plan, provided we figured this would give us a little bit more time to get more revenue in there. And then I also added additional in the water and sewer capital because we'll be collecting the impact fees, or not impact fee, but the, well,
Tap
park impact fees, but then we'll also be
Tap in.
permit fees for water and sewer. So,
And what, does this get put online or is it in more detail?
but
Like, I
yeah,
know
that's
this
what I
was-
put online.
Okay.
Mhm. Put a more detailed one on it.
No, I just, I never looked online, I always had copies of these. Usually like ours is a little more of a breakdown of individuals and stuff like that. But I mean, whatever's required to be online, we can do online, it's fine.
Any questions? Youth Commission, I'm gonna bring up. So there was a lot of misinformation out in the public because, so Youth Commission was put back in a $4,000 contribution. But I just wanted to, and now that we have, Jess Smith was elected, so we'll have a liaison back and forth. But Youth Commission, when it was established, there was no guarantee that it was gonna be funded forever. We were able to fund it for most years, there were many years we couldn't, and we did not give funding to it. Last year, when we ran into budget, we had some issues with budget where we had to make ends meet. And at that time, Youth Commission had about over $12,000,
13, I think 15.
about $13,000 in the bank account. So it was determined that they could probably survive without the money last year. So, I know they got some donations from Lions Club and from Washington Township as well, which that doesn't really factor into it because, we had committed to giving contributions whenever we could. So last year we withheld it. They got down to about 9,900 this year. So we are contributing the other 4,000. But Jess and I have spoken since then, and I asked her to give me an idea of what their expenses are, what the budget is, so we can work a little more closely. With the way things are headed, there's gonna have to be fundraisers, and we've talked about that. Even with the contribution we're doing, There isn't enough, and it's very difficult. Everybody is volunteers for every commission in this town. And unfortunately, there's no training program when people volunteer. So it's just kind of word of mouth as to what the responsibilities are and what people are supposed to do. So maybe, I have a feeling we need to probably come up with something. I know there's an ordinance that I went through that kind of gives their mission and what they do, but maybe a little more clarity, because I know some of the trustees, when we went over budget, were asking to kind of go over and see what the future holds, what the plan is, you know, how we're gonna, that's gonna be able to be financed in the future. So, we have met, we've gone over it, you know, she knows, I know, and, to a degree, there's only so much they can do without a ton of volunteers. It's hard to fundraise when you don't have help, when you don't have people doing that. But, you know, we're gonna work our way forward from there. The 4,000 is back in for this year. We hope to be able to do it all the time. Depends on finances, we can't guarantee it, so. Just so everybody knows what happened there, it is back in the budget. Anybody have any questions about anything else? Oh,
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing for the proposed budget for fiscal year 25-26.
okay, there's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Who seconded?
Eric.
It's like,
Weisbach,
Yes.
Diachenko,
Yes.
Gardner,
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Stacy.
Yes.
Consider resolution 2025-03, adopting the budget for fiscal year 25-26.
there's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, discussion? Roll call?
Stacy,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Gardner.
Yes.
Diachenko.
Yes.
Weisbach.
Yes.
9, consider ordinance 1421 of appropriations in the same amount of authorization as contained in the fiscal year 2025-2026 budget.
Motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Weisbach,
Yes.
Diachenko.
Yes.
Gardner.
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Terry.
Yes.
Stacy.
Yes.
That's all I have.
Okey-doke. Public Buildings and Properties, Parks and Recreation Committee, Trustee DeChenko.
Ooh, that's a mouthful. Thank you. Consider a motion to approve bid package 18 fencing from Classic Fence Incorporated in the amount of $67,540 to install fencing at the new public safety facility.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, discussion?
Any questions? Is that, Chief, you brought up a gate in the back, is that this too, or no?
No,
Can we separate?
we haven't asked them yet.
Okay.
Any more? Roll call?
Stacy,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Gardner.
Yes.
Diachenko.
Yes.
Weisbach.
Yes.
Okay, and I'd also like to update on bid package 16, electrical from Indicom Electric. Change order in the amount not to exceed $12,400 was required to install a low voltage conduit for the fence and gate operators.
And you're doing a motion to accept that update? There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second? Or did someone already look yet? No. Second.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know
Okay,
if that
that's
was
one-
a motion, yeah,
All right,
that's-
gotcha, okay, good.
That was just an update.
We'll repeal those, gotcha.
Okay. And then last, I'd like to consider a motion to approve a 1-month extension of the builder's risk policy for the new public safety facility in an amount not to exceed $1,500. The current policy expires May 1st, 2025, and the expected move-in date is not until late May 2025.
I will say I put that on there, although I guess it was within my, amount to approve it, but I just really wanted to make us aware that
Yeah.
we have to extend it, just so that everybody was aware of that.
Okay.
But,
Do you want to do a vote on it? or- Yeah, okay. There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, discussion? Roll call?
Weisbach.
Yes.
Diachenko.
Yes.
Gardner.
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Terry.
Yes.
Stacy.
Yes.
And that concludes my report.
Planning, Building and Zoning Committee, Trustee Gardner.
Thank you.
Consider a motion approving an ordinance modifying a moratorium on the collection of certain new residential building permit fees in the village of Beecher. This ordinance amends the cash in lieu of land for parks fee and the cash in lieu of land for school fees.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, discussion?
Do we need an ordinance number?
Pardon?
1422.
Oh, yours is right there too?
Roll call?
Stacy?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Kraus?
Yes.
Gardner?
Yes.
Deachenko?
Yes.
Weisbach?
Yes. All right, consider a motion approving an ordinance 1423, amending code sections 12-3-4A and 12-7-3A of the village of Beecher as it pertains to water and sewer permit fees.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, discussion? Roll call?
Weisbach?
Yes.
Deachenko?
Yes.
Gardner?
Yes.
Kraus?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Stacy?
Yes.
All right, consider a motion approving ordinance 1424, authorizing and approving a right-of-way agreement for broadband internet with Surf Air Wireless LLC and the village of Beecher, Will County, Illinois.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, discussion? Roll call?
Stacy?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Kraus?
Yes.
Gardner?
Yes.
Deachenko?
Yes.
Weisbach?
Yes.
That concludes my report.
Public Safety Committee, trustee Terry.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to consider a motion approving ordinance number 1425, authorizing the execution of an intergovernmental agreement by and between the village of Beecher and the Beecher School District 200U for a police resource officer. We had a meeting last week and came to pretty much agreement of the terms.
Did they, and they approved it? Okay, that's what I wondered. There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second?
There's a motion and a second, discussion? Roll call?
Weisbach?
Yes.
Deachenko?
Yes.
Gardner?
Yes.
Kraus?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Stacy?
Okay.
And that concludes my
Public Safety Committee, trustee Stacy. I'm sorry, Public Works Committee, trustee Stacy.
Thank you, Mayor. Here, you want to, you got a lot to go.
Take your time.
Okay, short
Wish
version.
you had public.
Short version. I'd like to consider a motion approving the proposal for sidewalk and curb replacement from KRT Concrete in the amount of $13,500. Superintendent went out for bid with 4 companies. Only one proposal was received.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, discussion? Roll call?
Stacy?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Kraus?
Yes.
Gardner?
Yes.
Deachenko?
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to consider a motion approving the proposal.
Did you hit me?
Deachenko, yeah.
Oh,
Weisbach, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I apologize.
Roger's ready to go.
There's a lot of motions I'm trying to keep track of today.
And there's more coming.
Sorry.
okay, I'd like to make a motion approving the proposal from Affordable Concrete, raising in the amount of $3,660 for sidewalk mud jacking, and that's only in certain areas of the town.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, discussion? Roll call?
Weisbach?
Yes.
Deachenko?
Yes.
Gardner?
Yes.
Kraus?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Stacy?
Yes. Okay, make a motion approving the bid for asphalt patches in various locations around the town in the amount of $10,320 from McGill Paving. Superintendent went for bids with 7 companies. They received 5 back at the bid opening this past Thursday. The bids are attached for your review.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, discussion? Roll call?
Stacy?
Yes.
Terry?
Yes.
Kraus?
Yes.
Gardner?
Yes.
Deachenko?
Yes.
Weisbach?
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion approving the bid for asphalt replacement in the 500 and 600 blocks of Birch, as well as the 500 block of Elm Street from Workus Paving in the amount of $62,955.20. Superintendent went for bids with seven companies. We received 5 at the bid opening. The bids are enclosed for your review.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, discussion, roll call?
Weisbach,
Yes.
Diachenko.
Yes.
Gardner.
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Terry.
Yes.
Stacy.
Yes. Okay, I'd like to make a motion waiving the formal bid process for additional asphalt work on the 600 block of Elm Street. The contractor with the lowest bid for road surfacing project has agreed to the same unit price for additional work. The committee feels that we need to take advantage of the low bid price and are able to get more done with the allocated funds this year. This area was discussed at the 4/22/24 board meeting. The residents brought up the issue. The stretch of road needs repairs, and the road edges have failed due to erosion during rainfall.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, discussion, roll call?
Stacy.
Yes.
Terry.
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Gardner.
Yes.
Diachenko.
Yes.
Weisbach.
Yes.
Halfway, Joe. You got it. I'd like to make a motion approving the proposal from Workus Paving in the amount of $25,648.64 for the additional asphalt work in the 600 block of Elm Street.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, discussion, roll call?
Weisbach.
Yes.
Diachenko.
Yes.
Gardner.
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Terry.
Yes.
Stacy.
Yes. Okay, item 7, I would like to make a motion approving the proposal from Workus Paving in the amount of $8,341 for the seal coating and striping of Fireman's Park and parking lot as agreed upon in the IGA with the fire district.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, discussion, roll call?
Stacy.
Yes.
Terry.
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Gardner.
Yes.
Diachenko.
Yes.
Weisbach.
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion approving the proposal for Workers Paving in the amount of $8,582 for seal coating of Fireman's Park. This includes the picnic grove area, bingo stand, beer stand, and both alleyways and the walkway path around the north end of the park. The 4th of July Commission will reimburse the village for half of the total cost as one of the projects for this year's park.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
Do we know when it's gonna take place?
2 weeks from today, I think it's the week of May 12th. We're trying to break the park up into 3 different sections though, so that way we won't exclude anybody. There will be limited parking with the fire station lot being down. That'll be down for at least 2 days. But we're gonna split it up so that way they still have access off of Hodges as well as Miller Street.
Did we do the second?
Yes.
Third.
Right.
Pardon?
No, roll call at the second, yes.
Okay, roll call.
Those are fast over there.
I just didn't have a chance to call for discussion.
Weisbach.
Yes.
Diachenko.
Yes.
Gardner.
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Terry.
Yes.
Stacy.
Yes. Okay, I'd like to make a motion approving a proposal from Workers Paving in the amount of $3,650 for seal coating of the parking lot at the Public Works Shop on Cardinal Creek Boulevard.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, discussion, roll call?
Stacy.
Yes.
Terry.
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Gardner.
Yes.
Diachenko.
Yes.
Weisbach.
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion approving the purchase of a 2025 John Deere 960 zero-turn mower from South Shorewood Home and Auto in the amount of $14,323.54. The purchase was discussed in length and decision was made to sell 2 of our other mow units in the fleet due to consistent mechanical failure. With ordering a new one now, the unit will be available sometime in August.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, discussion, roll call?
Weisbach,
Yes.
Deachenko,
Yes.
Gardner,
Yes.
Kraus,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Stacy.
Yes. Okay, last one. I'd like to make a motion to accept the proposal from Baxter and Woodman for the 2025 NPDES MS4 program assistance in the amount of $7,200. The amount is included in the 25-26 budget.
There's a motion on the floor, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second, discussion, roll call?
Stacy,
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Gardner,
Yes.
Deachenko,
Yes.
Weisbach.
Yes.
Thank you, trustee Stacy is in that one.
Yeah.
You know, take a rest.
Always that last meeting of the fiscal year, pretty much.
Yeah.
We never
Spend
spend.
what's left, spend what's left.
All right, will that be all, trustee Stacy?
That's
Did you
all,
have any
Mayor.
more?
That's my report.
Economic Development Community Relations Committee, trustee Weisbach.
You want to take mine, Roger? I'd like to consider a motion to approve the use of TIF funds to purchase a wayfinding sign from All Right Sign in the amount of $6,078.95 to provide signage to the businesses in the downtown area within the Beecher TIF District Number 1. All Right Sign also provided a quote without powder coating in the amount of $5,098.95.
And we haven't really had too much conversation about this yet, but the sign would go over here, you know, where the little one that nobody knows is there is. As far as the sign, like the advertising sign for each business, we're probably going to, did you have a chance to talk to Tony at all?
I did not.
Okay. We'll get some pricing as to what it would cost to have the actual business names on it, and we may talk to the businesses about doing that, where we put the sign up and they can do that, especially if people want their own logos, and, you know, that's a lot of stuff to get involved in that we don't necessarily need to have a part in. So we'll get some pricing, and I can talk to the businesses about that, but this would be to at least get that sign up so that we can get started. And I did talk to Pete about it, and I think we've talked about this before. Because of the fact that it's not in the TIF district, but it is for the benefit of the TIF district, as long as everything on there is within the TIF, it is a defensible use of TIF funds, so. And he actually went to a TIF attorney to check, so.
How big is this thing gonna be? I don't remember, I know we talked about it before, but I don't remember.
It's approximately 10 feet tall, 3 feet wide.
And
Each business will have a 9 by 36 sign.
What's the current one out there? Like 5 feet tall, 6 feet?
You know,
it's not 6 feet,
maybe 5. Yeah.
yeah, 5 if you're lucky.
Yeah. And the actual business signs or whatever is even listed on there anymore is probably only
Yeah.
5 or 6 inches tall.
So the new ones will be, what is it, 8 by 42 panels?
Yeah.
A lot bigger.
Yeah, it does not have the height on here, but he had sent the specs to them from the signs in Mantino. The exact same specs for doing those, so.
And then I agree, we shouldn't maybe get too involved in the, whatever panels are gonna go up there, but I think we should set some guidelines, so,
Well,
you know,
and
get a
even,
business down there, someone doesn't put something crazy, I mean,
well, and I was even thinking there's gotta be a system set up for, if we're gonna have 9 spaces, there's probably, depending on, I mean, if AmVets wanted to go in, there's probably more than 9 businesses down there. So, and not all of them are gonna be interested in space, so we're gonna have to set up a method for, and we'll probably go to Economic Development Committee, whoever happens to be on that after the trustees are sworn in. But as far as like how we're gonna determine who gets dibs on the sign space and how you're gonna put them on the sign, and, you know, that there's gonna be a little bit of jostling about that. So we'll have to sit down and figure that out. But this is just to, you know, approve the sign and install it, so.
and that price is installed.
No. That's not installed. That's
That's
for us.
not installed,
That's
that's
for us to install, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Is it just like cemented in the ground or how it's just?
Yeah. Mhm.
Is that an in-house job or?
That we'll do in-house, yeah.
So we want to do the one with powder coating? So
Yeah.
powder coating.
Yeah, I mean, if we're spending money, might as well get something a little nicer, it's gonna last instead of cheaping out and have to replace it sooner than we need to.
There is a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second?
There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call?
Weisbach,
Yes.
Beechenko,
Yes.
Gardner,
Yes.
Kraus.
Yes.
Terry,
Yes.
Stacy.
Yes.
Okay, any old business to come before the board?
With the paving in the park, is something, or does rec know what's going on, so they can?
Not yet. I was waiting until everything got finalized today. The only people I've talked to is the fire district, just to make sure they didn't have any big trainings or meetings going on that week, and they don't. But that week will be tentative, obviously, to weather too, so.
Yeah, someone
But I will
reach
be,
out to 'em.
I'm planning on sending in a large email out to all the different organizations that it'll affect.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Any other old business? Can we have a motion to go into executive session to discuss employee issues?
So moved.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second?
Roll call?
Stacy,
Mm-hmm.
Terry,
Yes.
Kraus,
Yes.
Drinking.
Gardner,
Yes.
Beechenko.
Yes.
Weisbach.
Yes.
Should have had you do the proclamation.